The Morgan Report with David Morgan. Discover how to build and protect your wealth at themorganreport.com.
David Morgan with the weekly perspective for the week ending January 17th, 2025. I'm going to go ahead and start out at Silver Guru 22, our Twitter feed. A couple things to point out this week. I just posted this one recently. First one up on the home page is from Bob Coleman. And Bob wrote a small missive about putting gold and silver back in the system and what the tariffs mean. Probably a 2-minute read. I would certainly recommend you read that. Next down is a webinar I'll be doing here soon. I do not make up these titles. Is it clickbait? You can make up your own mind. I wouldn't promote it this way, but it does state 2025 gold and silver tsunami, why silver prices will soar as central banks face collapse. I would tone it down. I would say, my outlook for gold and silver in 2025. Certainly don't think that central banks will ever fully collapse, but we certainly are facing trying times in the financial system. Moving on, another one by Bob, and this is takes a little bit of study, but if you look at it and expand it, and you know how to read a COT, and many people really aren't that adept at a commitment or traders report and what it really means, but it goes into some pretty good scenarios here, or possible scenarios, on what's going on with this in exchange for physical and what's happening in the London market versus other places. And it looks like a lot of gold and silver are moving this direction because of the fear of tariffs. And that's also in the first article I pointed out. I suggest you read. We are actually facing something that could, I said could, not would, potentially put a bit of a tightness in the market for a while. And it's going to be very interesting to get closer to First Notice Day to see what takes place. Very little is written about the platinum and palladium markets, and I did an update for our members a few days back. And this is one by investing.com for the Platinum Outlook. Pretty straightforward article. I mean, platinum is 15 times rarer than gold, as most of you know. It used to sell for a rather good premium over gold for a long, long time. That's not been the case for many, many years. It's undervalued based on the fact that most of the platinum produced on the planet, 70% comes from South Africa, and it costs more to mine it than you can buy it for. So if you want to go into platinum mining business, now's the time to go ahead and buy some. I wouldn't recommend it for people that aren't sophisticated metals investors. It does have a pretty wide spread. It's not nearly as well traded in the retail market as gold and silver. Therefore, you pay a pretty high premium on the buy and you usually take a hit on the sell side. If you know that and you've already got gold and silver and want to explore the platinum market, I think you're buying at a very good price relative to the downside. And lastly, a few more about the silver market. This is from IG Bank in Switzerland about the silver prices will surge with gold, according to them. Another one is silver in a super cycle. Another one from Sprott. Sprott makes a pure play in the silver market with their new fund. You can read about that. I have some comments I'll only make on that privately. And then Sprott again with thought leaders discuss real assets to watch in 2025: gold, silver, copper, and uranium. We like them all. We have exposure to all of those in our model portfolio. This is from Jim Rickards, which is always worth a read. And I'll leave it there. We've changed the landing page slightly here. And, one thing that's interesting about the silver market, so many things, but one of the main ones is this continuing deficit that you see here. And it's projected to be even lower in 2025. Time will tell. The numbers for 2024 are not out yet. They're not official yet, so we'll have to see what the official numbers come in at. But remember, we do take a deep dive into the precious metals and mining opportunities. And of course, these markets are very volatile and very dynamic. And of course, the mining sector has been really underperforming the metals themselves. I've talked about this over and over again, which represents a lot of people being disheartened by it, which is normal, natural reaction, but also presents opportunity. And I think this year, 2025, will be the year that if you got in relatively low, or you're just holding on now and you're just waiting for the market to come back, I think we're going to see significant improvements in the mining sector this year and probably for the next couple of years following 2025. And if you're not on our free email list, I do recommend you do it. You just put in your name and email here and then hit the red button and you're on your way. And if you just like to peruse the website, a lot of free information. The blog tab is here. I do 2 or 3 interviews a week. You can get to the Twitter account just by pressing that hot link there, as I just showed you a moment ago. And I'm going to go ahead and close this out, keeping this one down to bare minimum time-wise. This is from the About page. At the very bottom, if you haven't seen it in a while, believe me when I say this, the most significant money is yet to come. I still believe that. The third leg up in any market, be it a real estate market, stock market, bond market, what have you. The last leg is the most significant in price appreciation, usually duration not very long relative to the full bull market. It's sort of that FOMO, fear of missing out, and a kind of panic buying mode. So we'll see. I think we still have a few very good years ahead of us, and then we may peak. Time will tell, but it's not the time to throw in the towel. It's certainly the time to reevaluate. If you're all in, you have your hedge position, I would just sit on it. If you're not exposed to the metals, I'd certainly take a look at it. And if you're anywhere in between, you can make up your own mind. I'll be back with you next week with another weekly perspective. This is David Morgan signing out.